Well. The Las Vegas Raiders coaching staff is starting to come together. We have our coordinators in lockdown, and now we need to build the rest of the assistants. But we have some questions remaining, right? Some guys trading places, some guys being hired to coach in positions they never been. So we're gonna break all that down. Welcome everybody. I'm your host, Raiders Rebel. Welcome to Raiders Unleashed. And today, man, we are just gonna talk coaches. Well, and everything else football. You know how it goes, but mainly coaches. Raider Paul in the building was good. Grim, good to see you. Was good. Was good. Faded Raider. Mark Raider was good. Man was good. So let me know how y'all feeling about the head coaches so far. You know the Las Vegas Raiders. They went and got a veteran, a guy that's won 2 Super Bowls as a special teams coordinator. Jack Ken in the building was good. So we have experience. They went and got Mike McCoy. They brought him in as special teams coordinator. For y'all that don't know, now you know. They also have promoted Robbie Leonard to defensive coordinator. We will talk about that. Let me know your feelings on this. Do you think he's ready? 13 years experience in the NFL. Started out as a linebacker coach, right? Moved to D-line coach. Then he had D-line and pass and run game coordinator. So let me know how y'all feeling about that. Also, the Raiders have pulled the trigger on a guy that's followed Clint Kubiak, to Seattle. It's been with him for a while in a couple different systems. Andrew Janoko, the so-called quarterback whisperer that a lot of people are talking about, giving a lot of credit for Sam Darnold, a lot of credit for Derek Carr. So let me know how y'all feel about that. New staff members, the coordinators are in place. We have our OC, we have our DC, we have our head coach, and we have our special teams coordinator. Now it's just time to fill out the rest of the staff. Also, as I was getting ready to do this live, the Raiders went out and hired Matt Robinson. If you don't know who Matt Robinson is, we'll break down a little bit of more of his experience. But from what I got is 5 years with the Ravens. He was a linebacker coach. He was assistant defensive D lineman coach. Shout out Lawrence in the building was good. Also, he left the Ravens when Harbaugh got fired and followed him over there to the Giants. He was going to be assistant D line coach. Well, he got the phone call from Robbie Leonard when Robbie Leonard got the job from the Las Vegas Raiders DC job. And Matt Robinson and Robbie Leonard have a lot of ties. We'll go into all those ties here in a second. But let me know how y'all feel about this. A man that was a defensive line coach, linebacker coach, has been promoted to DB coach. So now we have Robbie Leonard going from D line run game coordinator jumping up to DC where he will be calling plays. We have a young staff, man. We have a head coach that's 39 years old. We have an offensive coordinator that I do believe is 37 years old. And then a DC that's 38, 39 years old. So very young, up and coming staff. Hopefully they can grow together. They can grow with these players. I like most of the hires. Maybe, I'm sure Clint Kubiak knows what he's doing. I'm sure Rob Leonard knows what he's doing by bringing in Matt Robinson. But looking at his history, though, he's never been a DB coach. Now, maybe in college, maybe I didn't get all the information. I just, popped in real quick. So we'll see how that goes. Shout out to everybody in the building. Appreciate y'all. Go Eagles. What? Mark Raider says, Jake Petts for quarterback coach would be awesome. Yes, if they allow it, though. Seattle has already blocked one coach, John Benton. Everybody knows that he's been with Kubiak for a minute. Followed him to the Saints. Followed him to Seattle. Well, he is no longer in the running for the job. Seattle's not letting him go. So maybe they don't. Maybe they don't let Jake Petts go either. As quarterback coach, it would be a lateral move, so Seattle would have to allow it, like the Giants did. I guess Matt Robinson, who was just hired for the Las Vegas Raiders, Matt Robinson asked the Giants and Harbaugh, if he could go coach the Raiders, if he could be let go because he wanted to be a Raiders to work with Robbie Leonard, his boy, who he has some experience with. What kind of experience? Well, shit, let's get into that. Where's my notes? Shit. Not those notes. All right, so 2021 to 25, he spent 5 seasons in various defensive roles, um, culminating as an outside linebacker coach. That is not the notes I had. Time out. Try this again. Fuck. Um, where the hell did it go? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, so the connection between Matt Robinson and Robbie Leonard, is, which is why he got hired. Obviously, we talked about in Baltimore in 2020, the two coaches worked together on John Harbaugh's defensive staff in 2022. During this time, Robinson served as the defensive assistant, assistant, while Robbie Leonard was the outside linebacker coach. So working together on the same staff, probably became friends, hung out together. Maybe he knows something we don't know, but to go from a linebacker coach to a D line coach to a DB coach is a lot different. You're coaching the big dogs up front. There's a lot more technique you need. Well, I mean, I won't say a lot more technique, but it's a totally different position, playing man or playing zone. So hopefully they know what they're doing. Other than that, man, I don't have no problems with the hire. I think it was, a great hire. Another, connection. We know how it works in the NFL, right? It's a circle. Everybody has their own little cliques, just like YouTube, right? Everybody has their own little groups, their own little cliques they run with. So in those circles, is pretty much who Clint Kubiak has went after, right? He went after, like we talked about, Mike McCoy, who has experience with his father, Greg Kubiak, and then also when Clint Kubiak was an assistant with the Denver Broncos, he was on the staff there as well. So, like I said, these ties just all come together. Talk to me after Max is gone. I don't know if Max goes anywhere now. Depending on how pissed off he is, this is a huge opportunity for the Raiders to mend whatever problem there is with Max Crosby. We know Max Crosby and Robbie Leonard are very, very close. Max speaks very, very highly of Robbie Leonard. Rob Leonard, I don't know, I keep calling him Robbie like I know the dude. But Rob Leonard, is spoken very highly of by Max Crosby. Max Crosby said during the whole entire playoffs, because Robbie Leonard worked with Mike McDonald, right? So he knows Mike McDonald. He knows his system. He knows what he likes to call, right? He knows his style of defense. Max Crosby said during the whole entire playoffs, he would get text constantly when Seattle was playing saying he's going to run this. They're going to blitz. They're going to run zone here. They're faking cover two, right? So Max Crosby said he was constantly getting text messages from Robbie Leonard. He says Rob Leonard knows, what Mike McDonald was trying to do. He knows the defense. He knows how to scheme up. And a lot of people are questioning this man because he's never been in this position. He's never called plays before. And that's a whole different ball game, right? Whole different style, whole new level. Calling plays to, being a position coach and just getting guys to buy into their position. So I believe, like all good coaches, right? Like all coaches, everybody, whether it's defense, whether it's offense, whether it's special teams, you don't become a coach to become a position coach. Just like a player, you don't join the NFL to be a third string, right? You join to be a starter, to win, and to move up, right? From rookie to playtime here and there, to a starter, to a full role job. So, like all these coaches, they dream of this shit, and I'm sure any defensive coach you can ask did the same thing. John Gruden said he's done it. Clint Kubiak said he's did it. These guys, when they're asked the questions, they all say the same thing, bro. Like, They watch football. They draw up their plays. Just like John Gruden, you can go watch Barstool Sports. He has a little board. He's sitting there drawing up plays. And these guys do that during games, right? They're looking at other defenses. They have their scheme together. Don't think that Rob Leonard walked into the Las Vegas Raiders interview with Mark Davis, Tom Brady, and John Spytek, and they said you're hired so we could keep Max Crosby. I think that's farthest from the truth. Does it help keep Max Crosby? Absolutely, 100%. But I don't think that was the full intent, right? I think Rob Leonard, you know, he's been there. He stuck it out. There's a reason last year a bunch of teams wanted to interview Rob Leonard. The Raiders denied it. This year, there was a bunch of teams that wanted to interview Rob Leonard. The Raiders denied it. They have, beliefs in this man. They see, how he coaches. If you watch that practice, if you went to the Raiders practices, if you ever been to a Raiders practice, you see Robbie Leonard. You hear Robbie Leonard. He's all over. He's very vocal. You know, constantly getting on guys, constantly showing guys technique. So I think it was his time, man. I really do. I think it was his time, and I think this is, you know, could be big for Rob Leonard. And then, already bringing in guys that he has ties with, like a Matt Robinson. I think that's huge too in itself. So with Rob Leonard being hired, in the way him and Max are close. I mean, he's been on his podcast, right? They they text back and forth all the time. That's his boy. We know that's his guy. And I see it. If Max really does leave, then damn, there's bigger problems in the building than Max Crosby leaving. You know what I mean? Like if Max really wants out, the dude that says he's got it tatted on him, it's like all of us do. But a guy that says he wants to be here, he wants to be a Raider for life. So if that's the situation and he really does get traded, then damn, we got a lot more to worry about than just what team is going to and who we're getting for his picks, right? there's big problems in the building. So I think this could mend the fences a little bit. You know, maybe not. Maybe not. I'm not Max. I don't know where Max is. I don't know where his head's at. But it didn't seem like his head was wanting to do with anything with the Raiders. But we'll see. Stefan was good. Faded Raider was good. Did you want Jim Schwartz from Cleveland, or are you good? I mean, yes, everybody wanted Jim Schwartz, but the problem is Cleveland's going to be assholes and play hardball, and they're not going to let the man go coach somewhere else and build somebody else's defense like they build Cleveland's defense, right? They have him under contract. He decided to walk out, and I feel like they could have easily went and got him. Money talks, right? There's a lot of rumors that you can't trade for assistants. Nobody's going to trade a third or a fourth round pick, for a defensive coordinator. But you can buy him, right? You can pay that. You can pay money. You could just pay out his contract, right? There's ways to go around it. So I think Schwartz would have been great. But I feel like the Raiders bring in somebody of that level, right? I don't know if it's hired to be, the head of the whole entire defense than to be defense coordinator, right? Like they do with the offense. I mean, I don't know, but I believe somebody's going to come in and take that role that has experience, right? They're going to bring in somebody on this staff to be, a defensive assistant or assistant D-line coach or somebody. I'm guessing, but yes, Jim Schwartz would have been great. But I'm good with Rob Leonard, man. Let's see what he can do, right? I think people's expectations, they're flipping out about Rob Leonard because he don't have experience. He's never called plays. But really, what are your expectations? Let me know in the chat. Shout out to the 19 people in here. What are your expectations for the Raiders next year? Do you think they win 10 games? I mean, are you expecting that? You expecting 8, 6, 5? Because if your expectations aren't more than 5 or 6 games, then having a guy, in a rebuild jump on as DC, I think is a damn good scenario. Having 3 young coaches under 40 years old on the OC, head coach, and DC, I think that's a step in the right direction. If these guys can be who they, you know, who we expect them to be. Um, how could you not like Jim Schwartz? I mean, just look what he did with Cleveland defense. Look what he's done through his NFL career. Like, the man's an absolute beast when it comes to getting guys to play. His defensive style. I mean, there's still talks about guys in Cleveland wanting out because he's not there. We'll see how that goes. If Max doesn't go, then I'll stop watching Raider football until he's gone. Damn, there's a lot of people starting to feel like that. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of people starting to feel like that. It's been a bunch of bunch of bullshit, bunch of crybaby shit, and that's gonna be rough, man. That's gonna be rough. Raiders. I can't stop watching Raider football because of a player. I'm a Raider fan. I'll close my eyes during defense. Something. I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I tried. I tried my ass off. I'm 41 and still go to Chuck E. Cheese for pizza and beer. There's nothing wrong with that. Do you still play skee ball in all the games too? I mean, nothing wrong with that. Now it's gonna look kind of weird if you're there by yourself. I'm just saying, if you show up to Chuck E. Cheese by yourself with no kids, it's gonna look a little sus, bro. It's gonna look a little sus. Smelly cat in the building. Nebraska 93 Raiders. What's good? What's good? Charles Cheese. Charles Cheese. What the hell is Charles Cheese? We only wanted a five round pick. Yeah, I think picks are a little bit more valuable than coaches. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. The Raiders got a plan. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure Spytek and Brady have something up their sleeve. They're going young. You know, they brought in guys on the offensive side. I mean, special team side. That's been there, done that. So there's guys in the building, and they gotta have. I don't know. I'm fishing here. They gotta have a plan. I'm hoping to God. I'm surprised nobody knows. Nobody knows what. Raider fan 100%. I'm looking at all my Raider stuff from back in the day today. And also I have my Raider jacket. I'm 41 years old, and I have Raider shirts. When I moved up, what? Was newborn toddler? Okay. I think there's supposed to be spaces in there, but shout out to you. I don't have anything from less than 5 years ago. 6 years now? 7. Yeah, 7 years since the house burned down. Damn. It's time to give up on your team. My team is worse, the Jets. It's not time. It's never time to give up, bro. I've never given up on anything in my life. I'm a fighter. Look at their schedule for next year and break it down. The Raiders schedule? It's kind of hard to break down the schedule. Like, we know who we're playing, but we don't know if it's at home, if it's away, time of day. Are they playing, 3 games back to back in the morning when they're, an afternoon team? So we'll get to the schedule when it all comes out. We'll break it all down. But they got, for a team that's been bottom of the division, let me say that they didn't get a fourth place team schedule, but they don't ever. So, I mean, I don't know. 4 is what I think will happen. 4 wins. Well, I mean, see, that's great. If you're only expected 4 wins and they win 6 or 8, that's double progress, right? You should be tickled pink with the progress for the Raiders. I don't know. I don't have really expectations. I just want to see them get better. I'm not looking at the scoreboard this year. Yes, it matters. But, man, I just want to see development. When I turn on the film and I break it down for y'all, I don't want to start breaking down film and be like, I'm not even going to do a live because this is just ridiculous. It was hard to watch. It was hard to put on film. It was hard to even find good things to talk about. And I'm tired of being negative all the time about the Raiders. I want to be happy. So, man, I hope it's a little bit better than that. Um, ownership kills us. You're a Browns fan, man. I could say this. I could say this about the Browns, the Jets, okay, maybe not the Jets. Timeout. Maybe I'll pump the brakes on the Jets. I don't know about Aaron Glenn. I don't know how long he's going to work. I think this is his last year. I don't really see them getting a quarterback because I think they feel this is his last year. I don't know. I don't know. So maybe not the Jets, but the Cleveland Browns with their head coach, they're going to be scary, bro. They hit on pretty much every one of their draft picks last year, right? I know Judkins got hurt, but they got a killer tight end out of it. They got Schlesinger at linebacker. They got two quarterbacks. You could trade one, you could move around. The Browns are going to be scary. The Browns are going to be good, depending on who's quarterback. Now, there's a lot of talk that Deshaun Watson could come back. And if Deshaun comes back, I don't know if he'll ever be the form that he was with the Texans, but having a long time off, out there throwing every day, the Browns could be scary if they hit on the draft again this year with all the picks they have. Will they have 2 first rounds again this year? Man, I wish I was a Browns fan sometimes. y'all got it made. Y'all just got to win. And the Titans, man, I think the Browns, I think the Tennessee Titans are going to be scary. I think Cam Ward in his second year with the coaching staff that they put in there, the ball and good lord, and having Robert Salah as head coach his second time around, he knows what happened last time. That's why he went and took a team that's got Cam Ward, right? So, man, the Tennessee Titans, they got a new stadium. That team's going to be scary, I think. I'm a Raiders fan. I'm also looking at all my pictures when I was small. Nice. Who do you think they're going to draft? Who do I think they're going to draft? I mean, all signs point to Fernando Mendoza right off the rip, right? Now, I just have this gut feeling that the Raiders are going to Raider and they could do something crazy, right? But if they don't do something crazy, I mean, it's Mendoza. It's Mendoza. It's your franchise quarterback, whether people want to believe it or not. I think the kid has what it takes. I think he has the heart, the mindset, the toughness, the discipline, and that's what makes football. It's not how many times you can roam around and avoid a 25-yard sack, which you shouldn't have ran 25 yards backwards anyways, right? So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think they'll go Mendoza. I hope I hope Rob Leonard has a big say in this draft and they go get, you know, another edge. But with Rob Leonard being in the building and how he feels about Malcolm Kuntz, you know, maybe Malcolm Kuntz comes back on a cheaper deal. I don't know. I don't know. I know they need to draft a corner. I know they need to draft 2 linebackers. I know they need to draft at least one more starter on the offensive line. And if you're going to do that, you probably need to get them in the first round. So you're going to have to move back up or take the first one available in the second and hope to God that, you know, he's a first round talent. Because we took a second round pick in JPJ, can't stay on the field. We took a third round pick in DJ Glaze, hasn't had coaching to develop. You know, we took a third round pick in Caleb Rogers. Same thing, didn't get on the grass, didn't get to develop, but when he did, he looked good. A third round pick on Charles Grant. Hell, the Raiders have taken 4 offensive linemen within the first 3 picks the last 2 years, and people are still wanting us to go get linemen. So I don't know. I hope this organization is smart and maybe they go get some veteran linemen, and they don't try to get a lineman in this draft. If they do, my guy's Jennings Dunker. Jennings Dunker all day long. Big, huge, mammoth, ginger, with a temper. What better fit at offensive lineman for the Raiders than a Jennings Dunker? But yeah, still main factor is ownership. I get that. Jason Ruiz, what it do? Getting there with your quarterback, tight end, and running back. Yeah, I mean, we got a nice duo. If they draft a quarterback, they might shock some people and show us how smart they are in the building, like some of us, and be like, no, there's too many holes to fill. If somebody offers you a bag, you take your bag, right? So, but with tight ends, two tight ends, running back, I say we go get another running back, right? Two's better than one. I mean, the future's bright. The only problem with the future being bright for the Las Vegas Raiders is in a couple years, can we pay all these guys? Can we pay 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 first round picks? Most teams can't. Most teams can't. They end up losing those guys to somebody else. Like guys like Caleb Von Chasen, right? Never really stood out. Went to Carolina, never really stood out. Comes to the Raiders, whole new ball game. So it just all depends, man. It just all depends. You got bright talent, but can you keep it in the building? Not if you keep every 2 years paying Max Crosby a new extension and adding 5, 6, 7, 8 million to it. No, no. Imagine being a Jets fan like my dumb ass. Um, just hang in there, bro. Hang in there. Hang in there. It's got to come around. It's got to come around. With 5 first round picks, how can y'all mess this up? How can y'all mess it up? I mean, you got Justin Fields. You didn't let him play. Okay, they might be able to mess it up. They might. I don't know. But the future's got to be bright for the Jets. They did what, is the right thing. They got rid of a lot of high priced salary. They got them some money in the bank. They got them a whole bunch of picks. Now they just got to cross your fingers and hope to God that Aaron Glenn has a better year than he had last year, man. Unless he's going for a single mom. What? If AOC is on the team next year, I'll never watch the Raiders again. um, you might have to stop watching the Raiders, my guy. I'm just saying. Lawrence is just trying to find any way out to stop watching the Raiders. Sounds like. Even then, it would look bad. Ha ha. Stop lying. Right? He ain't gonna stop watching the Raiders. Try having Watson as a quarterback after all the drama. Then he fails playing, gets hurt 3 times. Suddenly he's making our team this year. Turn your head from that is hard. Yeah, bro. I mean, it doesn't. When you put it that way, I mean, the whole trading for Deshaun Watson was just a mistake from the jump. it was it was a crazy ass deal, and that was just a whole bad situation. Am I excited for Clint Kubiak? I'm excited to see what he does. I'm excited to see if it looks any different, right? If if the team is bought in, if they play 4 quarters and not just the first two and then give up because they're down by 7. I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited every year. I think it can't be worse than 3-15, right? Or 3-14. I'm starting to add another year already. What up, my boy? I saw you at Walmart last week. Nice. What's good, my dog? Appreciate you. See, there's Raider fans everywhere. Everywhere you go, there's Raider fans. Worldwide. Um, Raider Deb, what's good? Appreciate you in the building. Haven't seen you in any chats in a minute. 7 wins for the Raiders. Raiders just trade Max. Rick Diaz, what's good, man? I'm doing all right. All the Brownsville camp. Giants 2 place in NFC. Faded Raiders, shout out for the $2 holla holla. Fill me in. I'm showering. Support the channel. What? Follow me. And what? What? Nobody wants to follow you. Oh, show what? Follow me and show and support. Oh, I can't read, bro. What the hell? Let me turn this way. Still in my eyes. Give Baltimore my picks. I ain't giving Baltimore shit. If you can change something in the NFL, like a rule, what would I change? Man, there's a lot of rules that need to be changed. The roughing the passer rule. Quarterback should be able to get hit. You should be able to get hit. They shouldn't be baby. No more tush push. You don't like the tush push? Tizzy Tisdale, what's good? What's good? Protect the Shield podcast. What's good, my brother? Y'all go check out Chris in the building. Always dropping fire content. Team trade back. So who we trading back with? If you don't want Mendoza, when I mean not you, but most of this fan base wanted Shador Sanders, right? And look how that turned out for Cleveland. I mean, it could be better possibly down the road, but if Raider fans don't want Mendoza, do we really think anybody else is going to move up to get him? I mean, we're sitting there, and Raider fans are like, trade back. But to who? To who? Because I'm team trade back, too. I've been team trade back for, I mean, even at 6, I would have liked to trade back and get another pick. I don't know what just got in my eye, but that shit burns like hell. Oh, my God. Damn. So yeah, I would love to trade back. I mean, we have so many holes to fill, and if you look at the first round, I mean, there's 3 or 4, maybe 5 linebackers that could possibly go in the first round. There's 3 or 4 corners. There's probably, I mean, defensive linemen 5 to 7. Who knows? Depending on how this draft goes, right? There's not a lot. There's 1 quarterback. There's 1 running back, possibly in the first round. There's 1, maybe 2 safeties with Emmanuel out of Toledo. So, I mean, I don't know. I would love to trade back. You could fill 2 holes in the first round if we could trade back with a team with 2 first-round picks. The problem is, how do these teams feel about Mendoza? I haven't heard anybody. And usually by now, you already hear the smoke, right? Last year, there was teams calling, trying to get the first pick from the Titans because they wanted Cam Ward. The year before that, there was teams calling because they wanted Kalen Williams. There was teams calling because they wanted, JD5. There was teams calling because they wanted Drake May. I mean, there was teams calling everybody in the top 10 because there were 7 quarterbacks in there, right? Way, way early. I haven't heard anything about anybody reaching out to the Raiders saying, hey, are y'all taking this pick? What do you want for it? So I just don't believe Mendoza is value is enough for anybody to want to trade back. And I think us being the Raiders, we raided at the wrong time. We have a first overall pick for the first time in, 18 years? We need a quarterback, and there's one. So you either take him and pray to God that he works, or what? I mean, if nobody wants to trade back, when you get a first round and a first and a second to maybe move back 1 spot, do you give up Fernando Mendoza for a first and second round pick? I don't know. I think Mendoza's going to be just fine for us. My problem is the Heisman Trophy winner, the first overall pick, the new head coach. It hasn't never worked, but once or twice in the NFL. Why is it going to work for the Raiders? Come on. It doesn't work for anybody, not even good teams. Why would it work for us? That's where I'm scared. Jason says, Emmanuel, Pragon, Chase, business at guard. Connor Lew at center. Would draft all of these. Would draft at least one of these guys. And that's another thing where we're at too. We brought in coaches late. We have to go with our scouts and what our scouting department says, because these coaches don't have time to develop, to watch film on any of these guys or get them out there practicing live to to see if anybody's worth keeping or if any of these offensive linemen are salvageable. Maybe they don't want JPJ. Maybe they don't want the risk of 2 years, hasn't played but what, half and half of the snaps, got moved from center to guard, right? Maybe these guys that come in, like Clint Kubiak, is looking at these offensive linemen that we drafted, like DJ Glaze, like JPJ, and saying, no, these aren't my style guys. They're not going to fit the scheme. They're not going to learn the scheme fast enough. Maybe we move on from those guys. So we do need a center, whether it's JPJ, whether it's Lindenbaum, whether it's Connor Lew, whether it's Sam Hecht, Sam Hecht, what the hell's his name? The offensive tackle that moved to play center in the practice of the Senior Bowl. I think that's a big man, bro. I would love to take a chance on that too. But then if you go quarterback, why not bring in a guy that Fernando Mendoza's, already has time with, has familiarity with? So that might be a thing too. You might go get the center from Indiana in the 4th round. You got 3 4th-round picks. That would be a good time to jump on that. I would rather have draft capital Mendoza than trade back for Lamar, but what do I know? Maybe not a lot with that take. No, I'm playing. Lamar would be suicide, bro. Taking Lamar would be suicide. He's just like Max. He hasn't been healthy in the last 2 years. He's a guy that, gets you there but doesn't win shit for you. He's not making the receivers better. He's not making anybody on that team look better, right? The running backs, and the same with Max on the defense. Who has Max made look better? What guys that we have brought in that have got better because they're playing next to Max Crosby? I haven't seen any. So I'm out on the whole Lamar thing. My dad is forcing me to wear a dress on 28-year-old man. What is wrong with people today? What the fuck? I meant people following my lead and showing support. Yeah, I can't read. I told you that. Raider Nation, Jason, what's good? What's good, my brother? Appreciate you popping in the building. Trade the number 1 pick for Jared Goff or Trevor Lawrence. Why would we want to do that? Why would we want to do that, Fred? Fred Red? Why? Why would we want to do that? Trevor Lawrence is okay, but we've seen what he did in the playoffs. He's that Dak Prescott type dude. Until he gets out of his mind and, gets in the Zen mode. I don't know how many playoff wins he wins. Just like Dak. So, Trevor Lawrence, I'm not trading the 1st overall pick for a guy that's been 4 years in it? 4 years in the NFL? Nah. And Jared Goff? Hell no. We could trade Max to the Commanders for the 6th pick in the draft and a 3rd. That doesn't sound too bad. You heard, you know how I am. I think Max is playing on a glass knee right now, and I think you take what you can get at the best time. We waited way too long with Derek Carr. Then we knew everybody knew there was problems in the building. Nobody wanted to trade for Derek Carr, and we ended up releasing a top 15 quarterback. So what happens if Max, plays 2 games this year? He was hurt in September last year. That means after the surgery, after, all the rehabbing he did, he played 3 games and got hurt. The year before that, he played 3 games and got hurt in Baltimore. played, half the season hurt, and then decided time to call it quits. Can't do it no more. It's getting too bad. So you can't go in drafting these dudes that are injured, and you have to look at value. And if somebody calls with value for Max Crosby, you have to put away your Raider goggles. You have to put away your love for players and do what's best for the team. And if it's best for the team, then thank you, Max. I'm hoping someone falls in love with him. But with the quarterback class being strong next year, most teams will likely wait. That's 100%. You're looking at next year's class, man. It's come on, man. You got Sam Levitt, you got Lenora Sellers, you got Trinidad Chambers. I mean, you got um the hell's the kid that transferred to Miami from Duke. I mean, good lord, there's a lot. There's a lot of quarterbacks, a lot. And why not have your pick of the litter? Like I said, leave it to the Raiders to Raider, and try to lose games on purpose. Supposedly, Canyon would tell you they should pick. She's not a Mendoza fan. All I gotta say is that that the negative people like to hate, and they will always come around for excuses and lies. Good show, Rebel Raiders. Appreciate you, my guy. Yeah, haters gonna hate, but even though they hate, they still watching. They still watching. Did you see a judge is allowing Trinidad to go back to Ole Miss? Yes, I did. I did see that. And I think it's good for him. I think it's good for him. He only got 12 games in the SEC. Yes, he was in a D2 or D3 school before that. Yes, he won a championship, with lower level talent, I guess you want to say, if that's without being rude. So you want to give him that time, man. You want to give him that time. And if anybody, I've said this a million times, there is nobody in college football right now that has been through more adversity than Trinidad Chambers. I mean, damn. The kid comes in, goes to Ole Miss. The starter gets injured. He comes in, he plays his ass off. He takes him to a championship, to the playoffs. His coach quits on him, goes to another team, then takes assistants with him in the middle of a playoff run. And if it wasn't for a horrible call at the end, Trinidad Chambers and Ole Miss might be national champions right now. So I think Trinidad Chambers with one more year, God willing, it'll be good for him. Must be a 49er fan. The guy with the dress. That's funny shit. Or a Chargers fan. They like that sissy blue, sky blue, whatever you call it. You guys need an O-line first. But do we really? Do we really, though? Colton Miller was hurt. JPJ was hurt. Dylan Parham, more than likely, will not get extended unless, they see something with the new coaching staff that we don't have yet to judge whether he gets extended or not. I think the Raiders' offensive line is one of the most underrated positions on the squad right now. I mean, I really like Caleb Rogers. I thought when Charles Grant was out there, and if you go back and watch the draft last year, you'll see me jumping up and down. I jumped over the couch, did a backflip, spilled shit everywhere. I was acting a fool. I really wanted Charles Grant. I think this dude has all the potential in the world, and I did not think that he would be as developed under a shitty offensive line coach in Brendan Carroll like he was last year. When he got out there, he showed that, come on, dude, I've been ready to play all year. And he's way, way further along than I thought he was going to be. Charles Grant, Caleb Rogers. I said, all offseason, there's no way Caleb Rogers doesn't start over Alex Kappa. There's just no way he doesn't start. Well, there was a way. Shitty offensive line coach didn't know what he was doing. And Chip Kelly didn't have no say. And they ended up moving everybody around and taking an offensive line that went from 25th in the NFL last year. Not this last year, but the year before with AP. They went from 25th in the NFL to 13th. From December on, that offensive line was locked in. They was tight. We was running the ball. We was moving the ball down the field. They was giving Aiden O'Connell time to throw, and we looked like a football team. And then Pete Carroll comes in and messes it all up. So, yes, we need O-line. I think we need one more starter. You never know, right? You never know if the big dog Colton Miller is going to get hurt again. Once guys that big, I said this 2 years ago, once you start having injuries when you're that size, they don't go away. They're reoccurring and they pile up. Now, did he have surgery? He had surgery on the shoulder last year. So, if Colton Miller's good and he can play, and they put JPJ back at center if that's his spot, and they rock with Caleb Rogers, and they put a Charles Grant at right guard and say, bro, you play right guard for a little bit, and if anything happens to the big dog, then you slide over and take Colton Miller's spot. I think that's the best way to go. But I don't think we need to go out and go crazy in free agency with the offensive line, because we don't know what we have in the building, right? We haven't seen Charles Grant be developed. We haven't seen Caleb Rogers. We haven't seen DJ Glaze. We haven't seen, hell, even Jackson Powers Johnson. We haven't seen the best of him because the coaching staff has been moved around so much. 2 different offensive coordinators, swapping guys at the OC. You can't really evaluate any of these guys. So, yeah, we could go out, take a lineman in the first or second round this year, or trade up to get one, and then find out, damn, this dude ain't better than the ones we got last year in the third round, then we're just put back in a whole nother tailspin again. And that's what we do every season. So, we got to do something different. Did you notice Tyree Wilson plays way better when Max is out? 100%. The whole team plays better when Max is out. To be honest, and this just ain't me talking shit, I'm a big Max Crosby fan. If he can work it out and just close his mouth and play football, then shit, I would love Max to stay. I think for the suffering he's done for 7 years, I think he's earned the right to be a Raider for life if he wants to be. But yes, if you go back and watch film, the defense all plays better. If you look at last year with AP, when he got hurt the rest of the season, that defense was banging with Caleb Von Chasen and Charles Snowden. The pressure rate went up. Jonah Laulu was playing his ass off. So, but Max ain't going nowhere though. Look, I said Max was going somewhere. The writing was on the wall. I've said all that, but I reserve the right to change my mind as a 50-year Raider fan. I really think that he doesn't want to be here, but I think Robbie Leonard changes a lot of that. And if you can just keep him away from Alex Guerrero, who supposedly is the problem, why not? Why not? But if it's come to that, so long. Raiders don't suck. We're just not a good team right now. Fuck the hate, right? Max heading to Tennessee. Damn. Where do they pick? Where are they at? 5th? 4th? That would be crazy. Max Crosby with Robert Saleh. Who they have a defensive tackle? What's their defensive tackle? Yeah, man, stop. Don't distract me, bro. Why you making me think of that shit? That would be crazy. That'd be crazy. Max is what it is. Is what it is. But let's talk about other players, right? Let's talk about Tyree Wilson. Now that Rob Leonard is the defensive coordinator, does Tyree Wilson get to play finally where I've been saying since he was drafted he needs to be? In the damn middle, on the inside, not on the outside. If you let Tyree Wilson with them big ass long arms gain a little bit more weight and just be dominant up front at a 3-tech, at a 2-tech, even at a 4-tech, right? But you can't have this man out there rushing from a ghost 9 position and thinking he's going to get to the damn quarterback. He's not fast enough. It's not going to happen. But when he's you know, when he's in the middle, or when he's on Max Crosby's side. Now I don't know why he's constantly backing up Malcolm Kuntz, and they're battling over there on that side because obviously, if you watch any kind of film at all, you'll see Tyree Wilson from the right side to the left looks like a totally different player. His get off is different, his technique is different, right? His movement is better, his first step is better. But when Max is out there, he plays 100% of the time, and Tyree Wilson is getting forced to play on the side that's not his strong suit. It's obvious. It's obvious every time he's in the game. When Max ain't out there, they put him on that side, and he does better. So, I think that would be. We'll see, man. We'll see. I hope Rob Leonard puts these guys, in the positions where they should be. Because if you could get Tyree Wilson to play in the middle as a rotational piece and play, 50% of the snaps, or with somebody else swapping in and out with Jonah Laulu, I think we could be nasty. I wish Max the best of luck on his new team. Maybe someday he would win a Super Bowl and deserves a Super Bowl. Absolutely. Yeah, just Jeffrey Simmons, bro. Could you imagine Jeffrey Simmons and Max Crosby together? That should be illegal. Tennessee has the best defensive tackle in the league. Yeah, that would be crazy, bro. That would be crazy. And that's what we were supposed to have with Christian Wilkinson, right? We brought Christian Wilkinson in. We paid this Christian Wilkins. We paid this dude a crazy amount. What, 140 million, 60 million? What the hell we pay him? Crazy money. Oh Jesus, another YouTube creator. Oh Jesus, another troll. Max seems kind of skinny on the D line, man. Maybe that's why so many injuries. I've been saying that for a long, long time. Candy Angel says it all the damn time. Max just gets thrown around by bigger, stronger tackles, right? If they have long arms and he doesn't have that advantage over him, all he has is the quickness, and that bend. A lot of times he can get manhandled 1-on-1. So you see when this guy's his size, when they're 6'7" and they have 7-foot wingspan, and they're outweighing by 60 pounds. Yeah, he needs to bulk up, man. I've said this too. I don't know how you work out from all day long. You're in the building, right? You're training, then you're doing weights, then you're in the ice bath, then you're in the sauna, then you're training again. But where's the bulk at? Like where when do you get bigger? When do you get bigger? I don't know. I know when I get bigger. The Beardy is back. Logan R. What's good, man? Appreciate you. Shout out for the $2 holla backs in the building. What else was I gonna talk about? I got some more shits for y'all. Right here. Somewhere. Man, what y'all thinking about the All-Star game? Do you like this new platform for the All-Star game where they have 4 teams competing and the losers compete against the losers? And how y'all feel about this? The NBA versus the world, right? You got the world teams, right? I guess the non-Americans, that you want to call it, right? Against what, three American teams? I don't know. I don't like the format. I liked it back in the day where the NBA just, had a tip ball jump and they played basketball, bro. Played a full basketball game. It was fun. There was highlights, right? There was dudes, doing crazy dunks, crazy passes, making threes from the other side of the court and shit. And now it just seems like it's sped up, like not everybody's out there trying to play. It's not as high scoring as it usually is, right? There's more teams playing defense. But let me know how y'all feel about the All-Star game if y'all watch NBA. That's my take on that. In case you didn't know, now you know. All right, so let's get into the next hire, man. Andrew Janocko and Clint have a long-standing professional relationship. We know this. We know this. We know this. We know this. They first, the relationship first started right in Minnesota, 2009 and 2001. The pairing worked together for 3 seasons. In 2001, when Kubiak was promoted to offensive coordinator and Janoko took over his previous role as quarterback coach. So, 6 years ago, this connection goes back, and we seen what happened in Indiana, right? With guys like Signetti. This is why I was hoping that Clint Kubiak was going to get to bring all his guys over. I was hoping he'd get to bring Pitts and Benton and and who's the other guy, the older guy. Anyways, right? I was hoping he's going to be able to bring all the guys he took over there and not have to leave them all behind. Raiders. But the Janoko history with Clint goes way back to 2019. Again, he took over Clint's position. He was a former quarterback coach in Minnesota. The New Orleans Saints in 2024. Janoko was the quarterback coach on the staff, led by the offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak. Then in Seattle, we all know about that. They won a Super Bowl. Janoko served as a quarterback coach under offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak. And now, he is the new offensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders. So, again, those ties, those circles mean a lot. Bringing in guys that you know, that you can develop with, that you have developed with, that knows Kubiak's system. They already picked up what he's trying to put down. They know what he's trying to do, and they can help explain it to the younger guys and get everybody involved, right? It makes sense. So, those are the ties. Let me know how y'all feel about that. Where else was he? No, Seattle. Well, where were they in 22 and 23? All right, that don't matter. But yeah, that's what we got, man. So, and also, I hear a lot of people. Right? I hear a lot of people saying this was a spy tech hire. Robbie Leonard is not qualified for the job. Yes, I'm going to pause this for a second. And I'm going to push back on that. Right? I've said this in a couple of people's chats, right? Not every defensive coordinator came into the NFL as a defensive coordinator. Now, yes, some of these guys called plays in high school, maybe, maybe called plays in college. Maybe they didn't. And I had a list, and I don't know where the hell it is, so I will have the list tomorrow. But guys like Antonio Pierce, guys like John Madden, right? You hear the names I'm putting down? You hear the names? John Madden, Antonio Pierce, Mike Tomlin, right? These are guys who were linebacker coaches, no other positions. And when they got their shot to go straight up to head coach, they killed it. So you're telling me you don't believe that Robbie Leonard could take a DC job? 16 years experience in football, 13 in the NFL. Worked under Brian Flores, worked under Mike McDonald, and one of the greatest minds in football, in my opinion, whether y'all like it or not, Patrick Graham. He learned a lot from Patrick Graham, and I'm sure he learned a lot not what to do. So I feel, if you feel like I feel, what? I did have to shut the camera off because I was doing something. Who you calling a nerd, Cupcake? So yeah, man, that's what I got. That's where I'm at. Those are the new coaches. The Raiders OCs are in place. The DC is in place. Special teams coordinator is in place. I like all the hires. I am on board with this train. I ain't sipping the Kool-Aid. We ain't giving no predictions. Um, you're built like a cupcake. You made me choke on my own spit, bro. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. I mean, I don't know what to say to that. I'm glad. I'm glad. Fatter than me? You calling me fat? That's rude, brother. What you mean? What you mean, bro? What? That is so rude. Just come up here and call people names and shit. Damn. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all got no class. I swear. Y'all got no class. But yeah, man. So tomorrow, I will have a better list of coaches, you know, who never called plays, who became great defensive coordinators. And I think the list is very, very high. And also, we will break down. Actually, I ain't going to tell you what I'm doing tomorrow because people will just do that shit. So, we will have some things coming up tomorrow that you will want to stay tuned for. You are going to like. And also, we are working on getting some people in the building to do a little bit of interviews that y'all will not want to miss. One I've been waiting for a long, long time. And if it happens, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. If not, shit, I already knew. But, so, a couple things in the working, a couple peeps coming on. My guy Chris, Protect the Shield, if you're still in the building, we need to run one. It's been a long time. I think last time we ran a live, me and Chris, on Protect the Shield podcast, it was also with 805 Raider. Me and 805 was going to do one. Chris pulled up. I think it was like a 4.5 hour show. And now they rock together every week. So, yeah, shout out to that matchmaking connection. They over there killing it every week. Y'all go check them out. Always doing, breakdowns. They do, what else they do? Sit them, bench them, cut them. Right? Fun little game. Yeah, they got a nice little pod going over there. All three of them. My guy Severe Raider. Three is 000. Negative people don't deserve shit. I'm positive God knows I deserve love. What? What are we talking about, Willis? What are we talking about? Listen, I troll myself harder than I troll streamers. You ain't got to troll streamers. We can all get along. You can come in here and just ask questions. I can answer questions like, how was your day? How was your Valentine's? We don't have to be trolls, bro. It's good vibes. It's good vibes. It's good vibes. I mean, if you want to troll, you could be a troll, but you don't have to. Fuck all the people that hate on me and the Raiders. Who's hating on you, Ricky Diaz? With a name like Diaz, nobody should be hating on you. You should be got them hands and shit, right? Nate Diaz. Just saying. Browns own the NFL. Why are they so bad, bro? If they own the NFL, why are they so bad? Why are they so bad? I've been a member almost a year. Been a member almost a year now? What? Shout out to Faded Raider, one of my longest supporting members. I think you are the new longest supporting member because I think D Menace fell off for a minute and then came back. I might be wrong. I don't check it all the time. I don't even know who is subscribed unless you have that little blue shit right there. But shout out to all my subscribers, right? Shout out to all my, paid subscribers that follow. I got some shit coming for y'all too. Just y'all. That won't be posted afterwards. It's just y'all. Don't worry. I see y'all. I remember y'all. I'm going to get to it. Let me get to it. I'm a busy man. I'm a busy man. Busy man. Browns can't even keep a good defensive coach. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess they figured the only way they were going to get Monken in the building, which doesn't even doesn't even strike me as a good quarterback developer. I mean, honestly, like it's not like he straight up has killed it with Lamar. Now Lamar has got better, right? But I'm sure it has to do with the quarterback coach in the building, not the OC, not the OC who's busy as hell. So, if I'm the Browns, I would have hired Jim Schwartz, and I would have just went and got an offensive coordinator and a new quarterback coach, and went from there. But right, I mean, you interviewed him. It sounded like, from what I got, is they interviewed him, and it sounded like he thought he was the man for the job, and then they interviewed Monken, and they just hired him. And yeah, it's a good way to get pissed off. Couple more weeks. I'm from Oakland, and I really miss the Raiders. Man, I feel you. I feel you. I'm from Cali, and I moved to Arkansas, and I probably miss the Raiders more than you because it's been a long ass time since I've been to a football game. I can't even tell you when the last time I was in a football game. What was the last game I was at? Texans, Raiders? I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back in my memory bank. We whooped the Raiders. What? How Tank beat Ryan in Vegas? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have longer than anyone, I believe. Don't talk about it, be about it. Everyone should subscribe to Rebel. I mean, you shouldn't subscribe. Only if you want to, right? I ain't trying to force nobody. If you don't like the content, shit, don't subscribe. But please don't come back and keep watching all the time if you don't subscribe. Quinshawn Junkins, Miles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Harold Fannin. How far the heck am I? Holy shit. Nope, no fighting. Only in football. It's always a battle. Okay, subscribe to it. Shout out for the $2. All love, fellas. Shout out Arkansas. Let's go, Pig Suey. Woo, Pig Suey. How about that Razorback basketball team? How about that the baseball team? Football team's coming. We coming. I watch a lot of college football. Nice. Who's your favorite team? I'm an Ohio State and Bama fan too. Ohio State and Bama. All right, explain to me how that works, Sean. Like, were you born in Ohio and then you moved to Alabama? Is your girl, like your side chick, a Bama fan or an Ohio fan? Like, how's this work? How's this work? Right? Because, I mean, I'm a UNLV fan, but I lived in Vegas for 22 years. I'm also a Razorback fan because I went to high school, played football out here, grew up out here, came back, raised my kids out here. So I'm an Arkansas Razorback fan. But I also like USC and UCLA because I was born in Cali. So I got reasons for the football teams I like. But Ohio and Alabama, it just seems weird. It just seems weird. It seems weird. Do you want everybody to... don't you want everybody to watch Rebel? Yeah. Baseball is the hardest sport for sure. Baseball is the hardest sport? Okay, you can elaborate on that because, I mean, what's hard about catching a baseball with a big ass glove? What? Now batting, hitting a 105 mile an hour fastball. It's a totally different story. Shit, hitting a 60 mile an hour, 70 mile an hour fastball. It's another story. But baseball? Come on, man. Baseball is not harder than, I guess, I don't know. There's not really too many sports that are hard, right? Football's not hard. It's just rough. Basketball's not hard if you got a jumper you could dribble. Right? I mean, sports aren't really hard. I don't have a favorite team in college. I just watch all the games from the big schools and small schools, depending on what team. goes to the national championship. Oh, so you're one of those. Golf is hard. It's yeah. It you just got to get the right technique. You get the right form. It's not that hard either. Really not that hard. But I played every sport in my life. So I mean, I played football, baseball, basketball. I ran track. I mean, I did pretty much like every track event I think they had. I ran the 400. I ran the 100. I ran hurdles. I did the high jump. I did the long jump. I did all kinds of shit in school. I was in. I was constantly busy. How'd I turn out so bad? So bad. What the fuck happened? Um, Pimping is the hardest sport. Yeah, that's hard, bro. That's hard. You gotta have a good backhand. You gotta have a good backhand, just like tennis, and golf. You gotta have that backhand. Shout the guys that make it look easy. Yeah, I mean it is kind of easy. Maybe not in the NFL, but I don't consider bowling a sport. It's I don't know. I mean, to have it on TV, it's kind of a sporting event. I don't know. Do you consider pool a sport? Like shooting pool? Because I don't know. Baseball's still the hardest sport. Not a lot of guys make it. Well, that's because they don't have very deep rosters, right? It's not like the NFL where you got 93 or 4 guys or whatever it is in training camp, and then you have, another 53-man roster and 16 practice squad guys, right? Baseball, you have like 10 pitchers and then like what, 10 guys? 9 guys? How many guys do you have? Not a lot. Not a lot. But when I was college, I really get into it. I'm one of those people that are like whatever about it. Nice, nice. So, shout out to all the people in the building, man. 15 still rocking. I don't know how many came through, but I love every one of you. Appreciate y'all for, pulling up, for talking football. Get your questions in. If you ain't got no more questions, I'm going to go do my thing. And, if I get bored, I might pop back on later on the computer and do a mock draft. So, if y'all want to get a mock draft, let me know, right? Let me know. Leave it in the comments. Hit me up on Raiders Unleashed _ on X. Hit me up on Raiders Unleashed on IG, on Snapchat, on shit, whatever, man, whatever. Also, you can follow me on however that shit is. I just started that too. You can follow me anywhere, man. Follow me anywhere. Follow me anywhere. Leave a message. Let me know. Y'all want to do a mock draft tonight? Let me know in the comments. Let me know after this. We might do one. And when I watch college football, I pay attention to all the top players in college. Nice. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Dude looks like he will steal your Wi-Fi. I might steal your Wi-Fi, but I mean, I got my own. I don't know why I would need to, right? I'll hit you up, brother. Nice. Subtract. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it do. Let's do a mock draft. Maybe. Sacktown Mike in the building. What's good, my brother? How you doing, fam? Are you guys happy with the coaching staff that is being hired? It's a lot of questions, man. It's a lot of questions, right? I'm happy so far, but I want to see how it rolls. I want to see how it goes in training camp. I want to see how these, if these guys are progressing, if there's a lot of hype around the team, if there's a lot of hype around the players. I think it's going to be different. I think it's a different style of coaching. I think guys are going to be held accountable. We've heard a lot of people say in Kubiak's system, he's going to give you a chance to get it right. And if not, you're gone. There's going to be no favoritism, right? He's not bringing in a bunch of players that he coached for 3 years and he thinks he's the daddy of. So I like Kubiak, man. I like Kubiak. He's got a lot of questions to ask. Like one, if they do draft a Mendoza, can you roll with the rookie quarterback? It didn't look very good with Spencer Rattler, who I seen a report on X. Somebody said Spencer Rattler needs to go to the Minnesota Vikings because he will be the first one to win Minnesota a Super Bowl. Some people are big on Spencer Rattler. I know a couple people like Spencer Rattler. I'm not saying, I think he's a decent quarterback, needs some time, but there were struggles. There were struggles with Kubiak and Spencer Rattler and New Orleans in Nolans, right? So a lot of questions. A lot of questions need to be answered, and they can only be answered until the season starts. So shout out to Sparkling Ice. Y'all need to sponsor me. I'm tired of paying for this shit. You keep upping the price. Used to be 98 cents. Now it's $1.27. Come on, man. Come on. Show love. The Mike McCoy, he's worked with Trevor Lawrence. He worked with Cam Miller. Not worked with them personally, but was in the building. Had something to do with them, right? Some people say, different roles, but he was in the building. So he was there, had something to do with them. But from what I heard from the little birdie in my ear about Mike McCoy is there was a lot of people in the Titans building, players and coaching staff, that when he took over as in-room head coach, they bought in quickly, right? He was the guy that everybody followed. Cam Ward looked better. The receivers looked better. What was the one receiver, Porter, the slot receiver that just started going crazy? It went crazy on us, went crazy on a lot of teams, right? So all these guys look better. And then they let him go. So I don't know why they didn't keep him in the building. Maybe because the Raiders, stole him away. But I heard a lot of good things about Mike McCoy. He is a guy that, comes from a Sean McVay system. He won a Super Bowl with the Rams and Sean McVay in 2021. I think he has 2 rings, I do believe. I don't know where the other one is. But a guy that's, his special teams are on fire. Also, South Carolina or South Carolina State, wherever McCoy was last year, they had 3 punt returns for touchdowns. The last time the Las Vegas Raiders had a punt return for a touchdown was on December 24th, 2018. Does anybody know who that player was? Anybody? Hey, Rebel, take care, be safe. I'm going to get some rest. Nice, get you some rest, yo. How's good looking people, what they do, how do you stay in such good shape? You say I look healthy? Well, that's a compliment. I mean, I don't know. I'm 50 years old, man. I grinded my whole life. I worked my ass off, and that's about it. That's about it. But I appreciate the compliment with this grubbly ass, beard. Staying in shape, work, man. I do tile for a living. Constantly lifting, spreading thin set, carrying water, mixing mud, up and down 500 times a day. I don't have a helper, just me. So that's pretty much how I do it. How do you do it? I don't know. Yeah, Kubiak seems to be very smart offensive coach. Will he get the O-line fixed? Or can he cook on that side of the ball? All right, so the player was Dwayne Harris was the last player to run a punt return back for the Las Vegas Raiders. And if anybody knows who the last player to run a kick return back for a touchdown was, let me know in the comments, or let me know, if you watch this video, come back and watch this video. Might be something in it. I don't know. Could be. I'm not saying anything. But don't look it up and cheat, man. Don't Google it. Don't. If you don't know, then don't. But yeah, man, I think, Kubiak is that dude. I have a couple questions now, right? He didn't get his guy in Benton. Apparently he's not getting the other cat, right? Quarterback dude. So Pets might not get him as well, right? So we will see what he is by himself, right? Just like I said, in Indiana, the one thing about Signetti and the reason Indiana turned around in 2 years or 1 year actually. The first year they were great with Curtis Rourke. They only lost 2 games. But the reason Indiana was able to do that with Curt Cignetti is because Curt Cignetti had the same offensive coordinator, the same quarterback coach, and the same DC for 3 different schools, a total of 6 years, I believe. Now, that's a long time. You get to know somebody, right? When you're constantly, you know, in the building, putting together a game plan, putting together a scheme, working with these guys, you get to know somebody. Like you're in a relationship. Like you know what they're thinking. And when you have that in the building, I think it's a good thing. So I think this will work out. Um, Speaking of health, I know how to work out and get healthy. Nice. Jacoby Ford. I got it. Shout out to you. So hit me up. Give me an email. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the building, man. It's been an hour and 21 minutes. I appreciate everybody rocked in here. I appreciate the 14 kicking with me this whole time. But it's starting to get chillier and chillier out here. And I'm about to go inside and maybe watch some boring Olympics. I don't know. Raider Nation needs to be patient, allowing Kubiak to lead our team back to greatness. It will take some time in getting the right players. Facts. And it's going to take time knowing if any of the players that are in the building are the right players, right? You're not going to learn that in a couple practices. You're not going to learn that in the off season. Now, some guys are good judge of character. They could just look at a player, look at his work ethic, talk to him, get to know him, get to know how he, what makes him tick, right? And those guys turn out to be damn good coaches. Is Kubiak that dude? We don't know. We'll have to be patient and wait and see. But yeah, my thing to Raider Nation, the 20 people watching this, and whoever watches this when it's a video, appreciate y'all pulling up and watching it. But my thing is to y'all, like my man said, just be patient, man. Just be patient. I'm tired of content creators and fans holding up signs, running coaches off like AP, like Josh McDaniels, running these dudes off. So I'm tired of that shit, and you just got to be patient. You got to have time. You got to let shit develop and build a culture, man. And if you don't give somebody time to do that, it's gonna, it's just gonna keep being the same thing over and over and over again. So nice. Raiders. So yeah, man, with that, yeah. That's pretty much what I feel. Any more questions? Any more comments? Let me know. I'll stick around. Again, keeps going up and down. Shout out to the 17 people in here. But again, my ending thoughts are, like I said, man, just be patient, have time. Give this coaching staff time. Don't trip out after the first 3 games, first 5 games, right? It's going to take time. It's going to take time. There's a lot of people in this building that haven't had a chance to play. So you don't even know by watching film if if they're worth a shit or not, right? So when you don't know, it makes a big difference, right? You got to take time to watch them in practice. And practice doesn't always tell you everything. I mean, practice doesn't really tell you much of anything because some guys don't go as hard in practice, as they go for real. So yeah, man, that's what I got for y'all. I think we talked about pretty much everything we can. Coming into the purple light. Oh, it's warmer in here. Woo-wee. So, yeah, man, just tame down the expectations. Whoa, what the hell? Tame down the expectations, pump the brakes, and just allow this coaching staff to learn each other, to develop with each other, and just continue to get 1% better. And that's all I'm hoping for. That's all I hope for this year. Just hope we draft the right players. We spend a little bit of money in free agency. We don't go stupid, and don't go crazy, because look at teams like the Chargers, right? They went and got the top offensive lineman in the NFL last year, coming off a Super Bowl win, right? Was it Mekhi Becton, right? Coming off a Super Bowl win. This dude, he got a ring. He was the best guard. He blocked for Jalen Hurts. He blocked for, Saquon Barkley. Let's just throw this dude a bunch of money. And then he goes to the Chargers and he gets a bunch of money. And there's talks they might even cut him this year. I don't know, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Didn't have the greatest year, and it happens all the time. It happens all the time. Sometimes people are right when they say system fit is what makes players, right? It's not always their intelligence, it's not always their arm strength, it's not always, their mental capacity or their toughness, willing to never get up, right? It's not always their speed. That's not always. Sometimes it's just an athletic, decent football player being put in a position with a coach that knows how to get the best out of them. So if we do that, I think we'll be good to go, man. And that's all I gotta say. Peace out. Love y'all. Like, subscribe, follow. If you pick up what I'm putting down, if you like this kind of content. If you don't, man, hit the dislike button and let me know why you ain't subscribed to my channel if you keep coming back and watching. Much love. Appreciate y'all. Peace. Ray.